You love your dog like family. So when you grab that bag of treats, you expect safety and honesty. But hidden dangers lurk inside those colorful packages. From contaminated jerky linked to over 1,000 dog deaths to treats laced with chemicals banned in human food, the pet industry has been keeping deadly secrets. Today, we expose 9 dog treats you must avoid and the 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we have Bacon Strips by Purina. The commercials make it look irresistible, dogs going absolutely mental for that bacon scent. The packaging promises real meat flavor and happy, healthy pups. But what Purina does not tell you is what is actually lurking inside that bag. Bacon strips are loaded with artificial colors, including red 40 and yellow 5. These synthetic dyes have been linked to hyperactivity, allergic reactions, and long-term health complications in pets. But here is what should really concern you. The primary ingredients are not meat at all. Ground wheat, corn gluten meal, and sugar dominate the list. Your dog thinks it is getting bacon. In reality, it is getting processed wheat colored and flavored to smell like meat. For Australians on the pension or fixed incomes, this feels like a betrayal. You trusted a household name like Purina. You paid premium prices expecting quality. Instead, you got artificial fillers dressed up as a wholesome treat. And here is where it gets personal. Many older Australians share their homes with small breed dogs or senior pets with sensitive systems. These artificial additives can trigger digestive upset, skin irritation, and even contribute to long-term kidney strain in aging dogs. If your dog is already on medications for joint pain or heart conditions, these chemical-laden treats could be making things worse. The texture is another giveaway. That soft, chewy consistency is not from real meat. It is from glycerin, sugar, and artificial preservatives working together to create a product that never seems to go stale. Real meat goes bad. These strips sit on shelves for months. Ask yourself why. According to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, over 56% of dogs in America are overweight or obese. Australian rates are similar. Treats like bacon strips, packed with empty carbohydrates and sugars, are contributing to this epidemic. And for older dogs, excess weight puts strain on joints, hearts, and kidneys. You thought you were rewarding your loyal companion. The truth is, you may have been slowly harming them. At number 8, we have Pup Peroni by J.M. Smucker Company. Another iconic brand. Another broken promise. Pup Peroni has been a staple in households for decades. The packaging shows juicy, meaty sticks that look almost good enough for humans to eat. But flip that bag over and read the ingredient list. What you find is disturbing. The first few ingredients include meat byproducts, soy flour, and sugar. Meat byproducts can mean almost anything. Organs, bones, blood, even diseased tissue that failed human food standards. This is what your dog is actually consuming when you tear open that packet. But the real danger lies deeper. Pup Peroni contains BHA, or butylated hydroxyanisole. This preservative is classified as a possible carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. It is banned or restricted in human food in several countries, yet regulators still allow it in pet products sold across Australia and the United States. Why do you think regulators let brands use ingredients banned elsewhere? That is a question worth asking. For older Australians, the emotional toll is heavy. Your dog is not just a pet. For many of you, especially those living alone, your dog is your constant companion, your reason to get up in the morning, your family. Learning that the treats you have been giving them for years contain potentially cancer-causing chemicals is devastating, and the health risks extend beyond cancer. BHA has been linked to liver and kidney damage in animal studies. If your senior dog is already showing signs of kidney decline or is on medication for organ support, feeding treats with BHA could accelerate the damage. The smell of Pup Peroni is unmistakable. That intense, almost artificial meaty aroma hits you the moment you open the bag. But that smell is not coming from quality beef or chicken. It is engineered using flavor enhancers and synthetic additives designed to trigger your dog's appetite response. The texture is soft, greasy, and suspiciously uniform. Every piece looks identical because it is manufactured, molded, and processed to perfection. Real meat has variation. Real meat has texture. This has neither. Do not go yet. The solution comes at the very end, and it could change how you shop for your dog forever. Now at number 7, Milk-Bone by J.M. Smucker Company. Milk-Bone is perhaps the most recognized dog treat brand in the world. Generations of families have trusted those crunchy biscuits as a safe, wholesome reward. The branding suggests tradition, quality, and canine happiness. But tradition does not equal safety. Milk-Bone original treats contain wheat flour, meat and bone meal, and a preservative called BHA. the same potential carcinogen we just discussed. They also contain artificial colors that serve no nutritional purpose whatsoever. Your dog does not care what color the biscuit is. Those dyes exist solely to appeal to human buyers. Here is the betrayal. Milk-Bone markets itself as a trusted family brand with over 100 years of history. They promise calcium for strong bones and vitamins for overall health. What they do not advertise is the inclusion of questionable preservatives and low-quality protein sources like meat and bone meal. Meat and bone meal is exactly what it sounds like. Rendered animal parts, often from slaughterhouse waste, ground into powder. The quality varies wildly, and contamination risks are real. In 2018, the FDA found trace amounts of pentobarbital, a euthanasia drug, in several pet food products containing rendered meat meal. While Milk-Bone was not directly implicated, the use of these ingredients raises serious concerns about supply chain safety. For Australians managing their own health conditions, this hits close to home. You take careful steps to read labels on your own food. You avoid certain preservatives. You watch your sodium intake because of blood pressure concerns. But how many of you apply that same scrutiny to what you feed your pets? The crunch of a Milk-Bone seems satisfying. Dogs love the texture, but that hardness comes from heavy processing and baking that strips away nutritional value while concentrating carbohydrates and fillers. For diabetic dogs or those with weight issues, these empty calories add up quickly. And here is something most people never consider. When you handle these treats daily, those artificial additives and preservatives come into contact with your skin. For older Australians with compromised immune systems or skin sensitivities, repeated exposure could contribute to irritation or allergic responses. You trusted a century-old brand to protect your pet. That trust may have been misplaced. Number 6 is Wagon Train Chicken Jerky by Nestle Purina. This one is not just concerning, it is deadly. Wagon Train became the center of one of the largest pet food safety scandals in history. Between 2007 and 2015, the FDA received over 5,000 complaints about jerky pet treats, primarily those imported from China. Dogs experienced kidney failure, gastrointestinal illness, and in over 1,000 documented cases, death. Wagon Train was repeatedly named in these complaints. The FDA conducted extensive testing, but never identified a single definitive contaminant. That is perhaps the most terrifying part. Dogs were dying, owners were devastated, and regulators could not pinpoint exactly why. Some theories pointed to antibiotic residues, glycerin contamination, or unlisted chemicals used during processing in overseas facilities. Here is what the brand promised. Real chicken breast, natural ingredients, healthy rewards. Here is what thousands of pet owners got. Emergency vet visits, grieving families, and unanswered questions. For older Australians, this scandal cut deep. Many affected dogs belonged to elderly owners who lived alone. These pets were not just animals. They were emotional lifelines, reasons to stay active, sources of unconditional love. Losing them to contaminated treats was devastating. Do you think recalls are accidents, or just the ones they actually got caught on? The Wagon Train situation suggests that problems persisted for years before meaningful action was taken. Despite the massive controversy, Wagon Train products remained on store shelves. The brand changed suppliers, adjusted formulas, and continued selling. But the FDA never issued a mandatory recall. Everything was voluntary. The texture of Wagon Train jerky looks appealing. Thin, dried strips that resemble human jerky snacks. The smell is intensely meaty, but that appearance hides a manufacturing process that occurred thousands of kilometers away, in facilities with oversight standards far below what Australian consumers expect. For those who grew up trusting big brands to deliver safe products, this is a painful lesson. The pet food industry prioritizes profits over pets, and without strict regulation, contaminated products can stay on shelves for years while dogs continue to get sick. Most people never learn how to protect their pets from these dangers, but we will break it down at the end of the video. At number 5, Canine Carryouts by J.M. Smucker Company. Another soft treat, another set of troubling ingredients. Canine Carryouts promise the taste of real beef, bacon, or chicken in a convenient, soft chew format. Dogs love them. The packaging features happy, healthy-looking pets, but the ingredient panel tells a different story. These treats contain animal digest, a euphemism for chemically hydrolyzed animal tissue. Animal digest is produced by breaking down unspecified animal parts using enzymes or acids until they form a liquid or powder that adds flavor. The source animals are rarely disclosed. The quality is inconsistent, and the process itself is designed to make nearly any organic material palatable. For those who carefully monitor what goes into their own bodies, this should be alarming. You would never eat something labeled simply as animal digest. Why should your dog? Canine Carryouts also contain propylene glycol, a chemical used to maintain moisture and texture. While regulators consider propylene glycol safe in small amounts, it is also an ingredient in antifreeze and industrial solvents. In cats, propylene glycol is banned in pet food because it damages red blood cells. In dogs, the risks are less studied, but the presence of an industrial chemical in treats marketed as wholesome raises serious questions. The texture of these treats is soft, almost gummy. They do not crumble or dry out because of carefully engineered moisture retention, but that artificial freshness comes at a cost. Preservatives and chemical additives work overtime to prevent spoilage, and those chemicals end up in your dog's system with every chew. Consumer complaints about canine carryouts include digestive upset, vomiting, and behavioral changes after consumption. While no major recalls have occurred, the pattern of reports suggests that sensitive dogs, especially older ones with compromised digestive systems, may react poorly to these treats. What is the worst dog treat you have ever opened? Drop it in the comments below. For those whose dogs are on special diets or managing chronic health conditions, introducing unknown chemicals through daily treats can undo months of careful dietary management. If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe. It is free and it means you will never miss these exposés. Moving to number 4, Ol Roy Treats by Walmart. Ol Roy is Walmart's private label pet food brand, named after the founder Sam Walton's dog. The branding suggests down-home values and affordable quality, but independent testing and consumer reports paint a very different picture. Ol Roy has been involved in multiple recalls over the years, including incidents involving pentobarbital contamination and salmonella outbreaks. In 2018, testing by a television station found traces of pentobarbital in Ol Roy wet dog food. The drug enters the pet food supply through rendered meat from euthanized animals, raising horrifying questions about quality control. The treats are no better. Ol Roy Bastard beef hide bones have generated complaints about splintering, choking hazards, and digestive blockages. Rawhide treats in general carry significant risks for dogs, but low-quality versions amplify those dangers considerably. Here is the betrayal. Budget-conscious shoppers turn to Ol Roy because it is affordable. Living on pensions or fixed incomes, many of you stretch every dollar. Walmart knows this and markets Ol Roy as a cost-effective way to care for your pet. But cheap ingredients and lax quality control mean you are gambling with your dog's health every time you reach for that bag. The smell of Ol Roy treats is often described by consumers as off-putting, artificial, or chemically. The texture of the basted bones is inconsistent. Some are brittle, others are rubbery. Real beef bones have predictable texture. Manufactured rawhide varies based on processing conditions that consumers never see. For those with small dogs or older pets, the choking hazard alone should be disqualifying. But the possibility of drug contamination elevates the concern to another level entirely. You buy Ol Roy to save money, but emergency vet bills from contamination or blockages will cost far more than the savings. One consumer in Queensland reported her elderly corgi spent 3 days in veterinary care after a piece of Ol Roy rawhide became lodged in his intestines. The surgery cost over $2,000. The bag of treats cost $8. That is the real mathematics of budget pet food. And for those taking blood pressure medication or managing heart conditions themselves, consider this. The stress of a pet emergency can spike your blood pressure dangerously. Your dog's health and your health are connected in ways most people never think about until crisis hits. Number 3 brings us to Milo's Kitchen Home-Style Dog Treats by J.M. Smucker Company. Milo's Kitchen built its brand on a single promise: real ingredients, homemade quality. The packaging shows whole chicken breasts and premium cuts of beef. The marketing targets pet owners who want restaurant-quality treats for their dogs. But Milo's Kitchen has a troubled history that the brand would rather you forget. In 2013, Milo's Kitchen chicken jerky and chicken grillers were at the center of a major voluntary recall following reports of illness and death in dogs. The treats were manufactured in China, and FDA testing found antibiotic residues exceeding safe levels. Affected dogs experienced kidney failure, excessive thirst, increased urination, and lethargy. Sound familiar? These symptoms mirror the broader Chinese jerky treat scandal that claimed over 1,000 canine lives. Milo's Kitchen eventually moved some production to the United States, but consumer trust had already been shattered. And here is what they do not advertise. Not all Milo's Kitchen products are made domestically. You have to read labels carefully to know where each specific product originates. For older Australians, this kind of corporate shell game is exhausting. You want clear, honest information. Instead, you get marketing language designed to obscure rather than inform. The texture of Milo's Kitchen jerky looks premium. The strips are thick, well-formed, and aromatic, but appearances deceive. Processing methods and ingredient sourcing matter far more than visual appeal. And Milo's Kitchen has demonstrated that quality control can fail catastrophically. Why is it that the companies with the most appealing packaging often have the worst safety records? That is not a coincidence. For those whose dogs are already managing age-related health conditions, adding kidney stress from contaminated treats is dangerous. And once kidney damage occurs, it is often irreversible. The kidneys filter toxins from the blood. They regulate fluid balance. They produce hormones that control blood pressure. When kidney function declines in dogs, just like in humans, the effects cascade through every system. Your dog becomes lethargic, they lose appetite, they drink excessively. And by the time symptoms appear, significant damage has already occurred. For older Australians who have watched loved ones struggle with kidney disease, seeing those same symptoms in your pet is heartbreaking. Knowing that contaminated treats may have accelerated the damage is devastating. Stick around. The fix is coming. At number 2, Nudge's Natural Dog Treats by Tyson Foods. Tyson is one of the largest meat processors in the world. When they entered the pet treat market with Nudges, consumers expected the same quality standards applied to human food. That expectation was wrong. Nudges has faced multiple recalls due to potential metal contamination. In 2021, certain lots of Nudges chicken jerky tenders and Nudges duck tenders were recalled because they might contain small pieces of metal. Tyson issued a voluntary recall, but only after the products had been on shelves and in homes for weeks. Metal fragments in dog treats. Think about that. You open a bag expecting wholesome chicken or duck. Instead, your dog could bite down on sharp metal that causes internal bleeding, digestive perforation, or choking. For older Australians, this recall was particularly troubling. Many elderly pet owners have reduced vision or dexterity. Inspecting small treats for tiny metal fragments is nearly impossible. You rely on manufacturers to ensure safety before products reach your home. Tyson broke that trust. The texture of Nudge's treats feels premium. Thick strips of dried meat that look like something you might eat yourself. The smell is rich and meaty, but that sensory appeal masks manufacturing failures that allowed foreign objects into the finished product. If metal can legally slip through quality control, what else do you think makes it into pet treats that we never even hear about? Beyond recalls, Nudges contains added sugar and salt to enhance flavor. For dogs managing weight issues, diabetes, or heart conditions, these added ingredients work against their health. Senior dogs especially need clean, simple treats, not flavored products designed to maximize appeal at the expense of nutrition. The Australian Veterinary Association reports that obesity affects approximately 41% of dogs in this country. Excess weight contributes to arthritis, respiratory problems, and dramatically shortened lifespans. When you give your senior dog treats loaded with sugar and salt, you are not rewarding them. You are slowly stealing years from their life. And for those managing your own diabetes or heart conditions, you understand the struggle. You read nutrition labels. You count carbohydrates. You monitor sodium. Why would you feed your dog the very things you work so hard to avoid yourself? The connection between pet health and owner health runs deeper than most people realize. Studies show that people who lose pets experience elevated cortisol levels, disrupted sleep patterns, and increased cardiovascular strain. Protecting your dog's health is protecting your own. Ever noticed how these brands keep recalling but never changing? Drop your thoughts below. And finally, at number 1, Kirkland's Signature Dental Chews by Costco. Costco's Kirkland brand has built a reputation for quality at warehouse prices. Members trust the Kirkland name across hundreds of product categories, but that trust has been tested with their dental chews. In 2015, Kirkland's Signature Dental Chews were recalled due to potential metal wire contamination. The recall affected over 15,000 cases of product distributed across the United States. Dogs could have swallowed or choked on metal wire fragments hidden inside what appeared to be safe dental treats. Here is the betrayal. You shop at Costco specifically because you believe their quality controls are superior. You pay membership fees expecting better products. Instead, you got dental chews that could have caused internal injuries to your beloved pet. For those who shop at warehouse stores, membership often represents a significant household decision. You plan shopping trips, buy in bulk, and trust that the savings come without sacrificing safety. Kirkland Dental Chews violated that trust in the worst possible way. The texture of these chews is designed to clean teeth and massage gums. Dogs spend extended time gnawing on them, which means prolonged exposure to any contaminants present. If metal wire fragments were distributed throughout a chew, your dog could have been ingesting tiny pieces over days or weeks before you ever noticed a problem. Consumer reports following the recall described finding wire fragments visible on the surface of some chews, but many wires were embedded inside, invisible until a dog bit through the outer layer. Why are budget-conscious shoppers targeted with value brands that promise quality but deliver contamination risks? The answer is profit. Warehouse stores know that people looking for savings will overlook red flags in exchange for lower prices. But your dog's health should never be a bargain. The smell of Kirkland dental chews is mild, almost clinical. The appearance is uniform, machine-produced, and consistent. But that industrial consistency hides a manufacturing process that clearly failed at some point, allowing metal wire into products intended for prolonged oral contact. Consider what happens when a dog ingests metal wire. Sharp edges can perforate the intestinal lining. Internal bleeding occurs silently. Infection spreads. By the time external symptoms appear, the damage may require emergency surgery or may be fatal. For older Australians living alone with their dogs, emergency situations are particularly frightening. Getting to a veterinary hospital quickly, managing the stress, making rapid decisions about treatment. These situations strain both physical health and emotional well-being. Blood pressure spikes. Sleep disappears. The anxiety can linger for weeks after the crisis passes. You won't believe what we found that actually works. Keep watching. The first safe option is Zook's Mini Naturals. After everything we have covered, contamination, recalls, artificial additives, and corporate betrayal, you need a treat you can actually trust. Zook's Mini Naturals delivers that trust. These treats are made with real meat as the first ingredient. No corn, wheat, or soy. No artificial colors or flavors. No BHA or other questionable preservatives. Just simple, clean ingredients that you can actually pronounce. The texture is soft and small, making them perfect for senior dogs or those with dental issues. The size also means you can reward your dog frequently during training without overloading them with calories. Zook's has maintained a clean safety record with no major recalls or contamination events. Their manufacturing facilities follow strict quality control protocols, and ingredient sourcing is transparent. For those managing their dog's weight or health conditions, Zook's Mini Naturals offer low-calorie, nutrient-dense rewards. You can feel confident giving these treats daily without worrying about hidden chemicals or mystery ingredients. The smell is natural and meaty, not artificial or overwhelming. The appearance is simple, not engineered for visual appeal. What you see is what your dog gets. Real food, safely made. For those taking medications for heart conditions or blood pressure, the peace of mind that comes from knowing your dog's treats are safe cannot be overstated. Stress affects cardiovascular health. Worry disrupts sleep. When you eliminate one source of anxiety, even something as seemingly small as pet treats, the cumulative effect on your well-being is significant. Zook's also offers variety. Different protein sources allow rotation to prevent food sensitivities. Different formulas target specific needs like joint support or calming. This flexibility means you can adapt to your dog's changing health requirements as they age. The second safe option is Blue Buffalo Blue Bits. Blue Buffalo has built its reputation on natural ingredients and transparency. Blue Bits continue that commitment with soft, moist training treats made with real meat and no poultry byproduct meals. The first ingredient is real chicken, beef, or salmon depending on the variety. No artificial preservatives, no corn, wheat, or soy fillers. The formula includes DHA for cognitive health and omega fatty acids for skin and coat support. For senior dogs, these nutritional additions matter. Cognitive decline is a real concern for aging pets, and DHA supplementation has been shown to support brain function. Omega fatty acids help maintain healthy skin, reducing itching and irritation common in older dogs. The texture is soft and easy to chew, which is essential for seniors or dogs with missing teeth. The size is appropriate for training or daily rewards without contributing to weight gain. Blue Buffalo operates FDA-registered facilities and maintains comprehensive quality control testing. While no brand is immune to issues, Blue Buffalo's track record is significantly cleaner than many competitors we discussed today. The smell of Blue Bits is mild and natural. The appearance is consistent but not artificially uniform. These treats look like real food because they are real food. For those who want peace of mind when reaching for the treat bag, Blue Buffalo Blue Bits deliver quality you can trust. One veterinary nutritionist in Melbourne recommends Blue Buffalo to clients managing senior dogs with multiple health conditions. The predictable ingredients mean fewer interactions with medications. The consistent quality means fewer digestive surprises. For dogs on heart medication, kidney support, or diabetes management, this predictability is invaluable. The price point is slightly higher than budget brands, but consider the true cost calculation. Fewer vet visits, less medication adjustment, longer healthy years with your companion. That mathematics favors quality every time. For older Australians whose dogs are their primary companions, those extra healthy years are priceless. The dog who greets you at the door, the warm presence at the end of the couch, the reason to walk each morning. Protecting that relationship starts with what goes into the treat bag. Your dog depends on you for everything. Do not let hidden dangers put your best friend at risk. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.